what we're talking about is a mental event, less focused than, let us say, orgasm. But even if you're talking about orgasm, here we use this word, but it must mean something different to everybody. Well, the problem is much worse with the psychedelic experience, because nobody wants to be left out. So anybody who's ever taken anything thinks they've had the psychedelic experience and feels fully qualified to hold an opinion on it, when in fact it's pretty elusive, the real thing. You have to take a heroic dose under the right conditions to really smash through. I mean, yes, there are all kinds of approaches to it: insight into childhood trauma, recovery of lost memories, opening to your emotional side, insights into the dynamics of the life and people around, all of it. But that is not anywhere near the bullseye. That's just dancing around the rim of it. So we have to, as a community, try and build consensus about what happens at the real center. What's happening at the center of the mandala? What kind of a modality can we describe and create a shared map of that we can come back to the rest of the folks and talk about? Well, I think the simple answer to how do you do it without trivializing it is that you do doses that scare you. You know? I mean, these things are not physically dangerous, and yet they are terrifying at what are pharmacologically completely harmless doses. I mean, the LD50 for psilocybin is hundreds of milligrams per kilogram. And yet, if you take anywhere above 25 milligrams of psilocybin, I think the strongest wayfaring soul reaches for the brake pedal somewhere in there. It's amazing how we just skim the surface of this. I mean, and we can't go very deep because language fails. I mean, most of you who have done committed doses know that you go into a realm where it gets weirder and weirder and weirder, and then finally the very machinery of explaining to the observer what is happening begins to melt. And then you are there with it for a while. And then you descend out of that, and the language mechanism reactivates and says, you know, we are now leaving the utterly unspeakable behind. And so it's an extraordinary thing. I mean, the motivation of my career, I guess, is I just can't believe how this much strangeness could lay that close to the surface and the enterprise of human history be conducted for 10,000 years with people running around trying to do weird things, writing polyphonic music and, you know, the Rudolphine Court and Hieronymus Bosch and all this stuff. And right under the surface, just a Niagara of peculiarity and strangeness that makes no sense to me when I put on the hat of the biologist. You know, why should an advanced animal of some sort have this curious relationship to an invisible river of imagery running collectively through the brains of all and each? What is that about? And the beauty of it, as in Blake's word, the futurity of it, the fact that in the glistening of the flowing waters of the unconscious, you glimpse not only the square-topped towers of Ilium and the ruins of Carthage and Petra and all that, but you also see the intimations of some kind of magnificent future that, is it in the imagination? Is it directly ahead in the time stream? Is it lost in dream? The whole circumstance of being alive and being a self-reflecting, thinking human being is just too peculiar for words. We have to begin to cultivate a sense of mystery, a sense of living without closure, because that, in fact, is how the world is. The world is a mystery. It's not going to yield to the fragile constructs of the human mind. Some portion may be rationally apprehendable, but the basic facts of the matter are that we do not know where we come, nor why, nor where we're going, nor according to what plan. And instead of seeking a flawed communication with the intentionality of deity, I think the psychedelic religious agenda, if that's how you want to think of it, is a more modest one. It's a cultivation of a sense of wonder in the presence of something which obviously cannot be encompassed by the human mind. I mean, it can no more be encompassed by the human mind than the ocean can be emptied into a thimble. And once you get that straight, you can go back to getting high, staying tight with your friends, making love, growing your garden, and appreciating the felt presence of experience, and realizing that the abstraction game, the high modeling game, is in fact simply a game, and that there should be no emotional investment in these structures. I mean, what I've learned from the mushrooms ultimately is that ideas are for play, and the final payback from all of this is a sense of fun, a sense of humor. The truth, for sure, when it arrives, will make you smile. If it doesn't, you should seek a deeper truth. And so, for a long time it troubled me, this question of truth and falsity. And now I think that it's more like this, that the person who has the best idea, or let's put it this way, the best idea, and that means the funniest idea, the idea that brings the small smile to the corners of your mouth, that idea will win. It will win. It's twee, the cheerful. Twee treads on the tail of the tiger. No blame. No blame, because the cheerfulness of twee overcomes the inherent reticence of the world. The light touch is the right touch. And if psychedelics don't give this to you, you may be an incurable case, There may be no hope for you but Martin Heidegger in high doses, or whatever they do with people who have displaced funny bones. The world is truly a strange place, getting stranger all the time. It's more the character of a pun or an optical illusion than it is the world of humorless, scurrying gray atoms and invisible forces that we inherit from nature. The laboratory of being is your own body, your experience.